Hi, it's Effie, and this is my first little entry in my vlog for Zenith by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I've already started it. I'm not very far in, and it's okay. I already have some technical issues with like the science, but you know, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna read this whole thing together and see what we think. I'm on like page 55 of Zenith. One of like the major complaints I've heard about this book is that it's just not well done. Oh my god, you can see my sodas again. You know, I'm not even 100 pages in, and I can see where they're coming from. The science and the technicalities just don't make sense. They talk about hearing shots and blasts, and maybe they're talking about like hearing like their ship react to them, but sound doesn't travel in space. The weapons, like the double trigger gun, how does that work? That doesn't make sense one bit. Are they side by side? That doesn't make sense. If you're operating a gun one-handed, which most people do, if you pull the one on the other side, then like you're gonna pull the other, like that doesn't make sense unless she switches hands depending on what she's doing, which I guess could make sense, but they didn't say anything about that, so like that doesn't make sense. And then the electric swords, is that what they are? I don't feel like that is practical or even necessary. Also, I feel like Andy is just modeled after Selena Sardathi and just less cool. Like, I definitely went into this book having like ideas that it was just gonna be comically bad, and I don't want to like be too critical like I wouldn't be of another book that I've heard is maybe good. I will talk to y'all later, maybe. I don't know. Bye. My biggest problem so far is that I just don't feel like the story and the writing is working. For example, Andy is immediately presented as a really strong soldier type, and I'm 68 pages in and all she's good at so far is getting bamboozled. And the way that she goes after Dex immediately without even looking at her team, like the things that aren't strategically sound that she does or that anybody does, the things that just don't make sense. I feel like it doesn't make sense that she's being blamed for Kaylee's death. I just feel like they're being dramatic about everything. I don't want to go in thinking, wow, this is going to be horrible. But so far, nothing particularly has disproven the rumors. Hey everybody, so as you can kind of tell, I'm back at school, and I don't know what like my filming area will be while I'm at school. But I'm on page 125 of Zenith. Also, I'm gonna put like a spoiler alert at the beginning of this video because it's just all gonna be spoilers. I'm not even gonna like worry about not spoiling. The whole thing with Kaylee and Andy, I still just don't understand how it's her fault, because from everything that we've learned so far, and it's a good chunk into the book, it just seems like it was circumstances beyond their control, and it just happened. It was Kaylee's idea and Andy couldn't stop her, and that was a big issue. It's just really irritating me how she's being blamed and she blames herself. Kaylee's dad blames her. Get over it. Yeah, it sucks, but it's been years. It literally ruined Andy's life. I just feel like that general guy, Kaylee's dad, needs to back up and stop holding Andy responsible for something that was beyond her control. I'm not connecting with any of the characters. I find them all at least a little bit annoying. Right now, the writing is just really fluffy. It goes from being really fluffy to just not good. And sometimes it's really fluffy and not good. Like the phrasing of things, I just think it's dumb. So one of them is on page 106, and it's talking about Gilly, and it says, the 13-year-old was growing fast and had the appetite to match her growth spurt. And that's not how I would have phrased it, because they're implying that she eats all the time, consistently, but a growth spurt is temporary. I don't know, that's just not how I would have phrased it. A lot of little things are irking me about this book. I'll talk to y'all later. Hey! I just thought I would update while I can. Let me see what page I'm on. I'm on page 172 of Zenith. My biggest problem right now that I'm thinking about is how Kaylee's parents seem to blame everybody except for themselves for Kaylee's death. Like, they blame Andy and they blame Valen. I don't know exactly the circumstances of their crash yet, but from what it seems like to me, it was an accident. And even though Andy was charged to protect Kaylee, they were best friends, which seems like a fault with the general's judgment, but you know, that's just like my biggest thing. It's like there are things that everyone could have done to prevent it, but nobody did, and even if they had, it might have happened anyway. Also, my reading might be slower because I've started reading What If by Rebecca Donovan, because my friend gave me like 4 Rebecca Donovan books to read, and so I'm reading this and Zenith. This is my system when I'm reading 2 books at the exact same time. This book is what I carry with me in my backpack, and this is what I read when I'm in my dorm. I'll see y'all later, and I'll probably also read more of Zenith later because, you know, I really kind of want to just get through it. I'm like a reasonable chunk of the way through, and I'm still hoping that it will pleasantly surprise me. but I don't know. I'm a little nervous that it might not.
Hello, it's me. It's like a Friday night and I'm watching a movie. I'm on page 224 and I can't get invested in the story in any of the characters, so it's kind of a slow go. Who published this? Here's the thing. It's not good. It's not good. It's not well written. The story isn't well thought out. I don't know what else to say right now. There's nothing besides this vlog keeping me from DNFing this book. I don't appreciate it at all. I've been reading it for a week now and it's the next day. I think I updated yesterday. Oh my god, I look like a ramen noodle. I have some more articulate thoughts about why it's frustrating me, because all I could really think of last time I updated was I just can't get connected. And I think the main reason I'm frustrated actually is, like, one, I can't get connected, and that's obviously frustrating because I really do want to finish this book because I just want to know what's wrong with it. But my big issue right now that I'm thinking about is that this book is not good. Like, let's start with that. It's not good. But there's no reason for this story to not be good. Like, it's a cool story. There's no reason for the story to be so bad. It's just bad writing and bad execution, which is incredibly frustrating for me. Hey, it's Monday morning. I've been reading more of Zenith. I feel like the character dynamics are changing a lot more than they need to be. I get that Andy and Dex, that dynamic is changing, and the dynamic between Andy and Valen is different than we initially thought it was. I don't know. I feel like the characters are doing things out of character. I don't even know how to explain it. I just feel like the characters I'm reading about now aren't the same ones that I read about. And I think it's supposed to be character development, but it just kind of seems out of character. I've been using speed reading, which is helping me a lot. I'm on like page 366. I think I'm gonna finish this today. I'll probably sit down and discuss my thoughts, but I don't think I'm gonna do a whole book talk. I'm still very much of the opinion that there's no reason for this book to be as bad as it is, and the only reason it's bad is because of bad writing and execution. It's just not good. It's just bad. And there's no reason for it to be bad. Science doesn't make sense. Technology doesn't make sense. The technology that could make sense isn't well explained. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'll update y'all more later. I have like 140 pages left in Zenith, and I might finish it tonight, but I'm really tired because I did so much work today. But I wanted to talk more about the accident with Andy and Kaylee, because they blamed her so much. And one, I think that if there is like something in their protocol or in like the contract to be a specter for somebody, that if they die and you fail, then you are executed, then that should have been explained better than it was. I think it was mentioned like in one of her nightmares once on like page 400. There should have been like some reason for it to have reasonably been her fault. Like literally they went out on a joyride and there was bad weather and they crashed. And they've been blaming her for 4 years? How old is she supposed to be? Too young for all this. It doesn't say. I think it's been like 4 or 5 years. She's too young. A 14-year-old was hired to be her best friend's bodyguard, and on a night of being frivolous and having fun, there was an accident and she failed. Like, did they not see the issue with hiring her best friend anyway? Like, was that not an issue that they saw coming? Like, it being her fault was such a big part of the story. I feel like there should have been a reason for it to have been her fault. Like, she was drunk, or she fell asleep at the wheel, or she turned her back and then there was like a crazy guy trying to kill Kaylee. Like, there are so many ways they could have done this, and they didn't do it very well at all, I don't think. Science doesn't make sense. At the attack on Xanterra, they're talking about like climbing over cold and clammy bodies, but from what I'm understanding, it all happened within like 30 or 45 minutes. So they would still be warm. Do we know science? I don't know, I feel like it's a really nitpicky thing, but if you're gonna write science fiction, they would still be warm. That's like a thing. You don't just die and then like cold. Oh, here's something that pissed me off. I literally wrote LOL, moon lava, for real. Gilly walked beside her in a dress of glittering purple that made her red braids shine bright as moon lava. What is the difference between moon lava and regular lava? If it was blue, then like, okay, but it's red, like regular lava. Why do we always have to specify that we're in space? Space junk, space trash, moon chew.
moon lava. We understand you're in space. Look at the cover. Okay, I will see y'all later, and who knows, maybe I'll have finished this book and we'll be sitting down to talk about my thoughts. I'm so close. And something's actually kind of happening, so that's exciting, you know? Hello, everybody. So I finished Zenith last night, and the thing is, it's not good. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I could get through it. It wasn't anything where I was like, oh my god, this is so horrible, I can't even read it. Like, 1 star is usually for things that I can't get through. It might be like a 1.5 stars. Like, I don't even know. I want to start with the Bloody Baroness thing, because 1, that's the stupidest moniker I've ever heard in my life. And 2, it's like, y'all know how in Guardians of the Galaxy, like, he calls himself Star-Lord and no one really takes him seriously because, like, who gives themselves a name like that? Yeah, that's how it felt in this. Like, how was I supposed to take her seriously? It was just kind of the dumbest thing. Like, it was so stupid. It didn't bother me as much in the beginning as it did towards the end. The things with both of her, with her parents, those scenes were unbelievably cringy because also her relationship with her parents didn't really make sense. The dynamic just wasn't consistent. I hated the scenes with her parents. I hated the moniker, like the Bloody Baroness or whatever. The writing was inconsistent and awkward. There were 2 reasons why I didn't want to do a discussion video. 1 is because I, like, literally have no time to edit at school. And 2, because I feel like half of my, like, annotations were just or phrasing ? Or for real. There was nothing substantial enough about this book for me to do, like, a full discussion. So, like, I think that this wrap-up clip to the vlog is gonna be it. This isn't even a very vloggy vlog. It was just, like, me periodically updating while sitting at my desk with my knee up. I just feel like there was nothing much to talk about this book because it's a 500+ page book. It's like 550 something pages. And the ending happened in the last 100 pages, if that. And in shorter books, I can kind of understand why that might be, but, like, it's a chunky book. It's not short. The plot twist, whatever. That was, like, at the beginning of the chapter, when Valen kills his dad, I was like, he's gonna kill his dad. And then he did. And also the whole thing with Claren, Valen and Nora's mom, there was, like, no kind of foreshadowing for who she actually was. It was just periodically you would have these chapters that made no sense and didn't seem to pertain to the story at all, which irritated me. Valen was a predictable character. You knew that he was going to do something because he acted weird when they came and got him. His character was never consistent. I guess they couldn't decide on how they wanted him to act before showing his true colors because, like, literally everything from his speech style to his body language was inconsistent. For, like, 300 pages, nothing happened. And when Adhira got attacked, you thought, like, oh, maybe something's gonna happen. And then there was, like, another 100 pages of just, like, nothing. And then in the last 100 pages, there was a plot twist and a cliffhanger. And why did we have to hear Andy's backstory so many damn times? It's not even like the backstory was, like, cut into pieces. It's like you would hear some of it, and then when you would hear that again, and then a little bit added on to the end, and then you would read that again with a little bit added on to the end, and it would just keep... And I didn't like the way that her, like, PTSD was, like, represented. It doesn't just hit you when it's convenient. Like, she only had, like, her PTSD issues when it was convenient for her. I just felt like that wasn't really well researched. This wasn't a good representation of what it is. Dex had no kind of character arc. He was really aggressive. It's so heteronormative. I definitely still have things I'm salty about. Like, it's like the more I think about this book, the saltier I get about it. I'm just gonna sit here in the dark and, like, talk about this book that I didn't like. I also want to talk about how every single crew member of the Marauder has some kind of mysterious backstory, which is fine because, like, they're a misfit crew of pirates, so, like, fair enough. But, like, they mention how Breck turned up somewhere at some time and didn't know who she was or, like, where she'd come from. They mentioned that one time. And then never again. I don't even want to talk about this. I would rather write my lab report than think or talk about this book anymore.
I don't even know if I'm gonna go into any more detail.
Hello everybody, so I'm just gonna close out this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like it, hit that really pretty red button next to my name and picture. It's prettier than my face, so you might as well go for it. I will talk to you guys soon. I really hope you enjoyed me just reading a book that I didn't enjoy. Bye!